If you have an ADHD brain, you absolutely know this feeling. You're exhausted all day, but the second your head hits the pillow, your mind decides, hey, now's a great time to run a marathon. Today, we're going to get into why that happens and, way more importantly, what you can actually do about it. Let's dive in. I mean, seriously, how perfect is this quote? If you've ever been there, just laying in bed, staring at the ceiling, while your brain flips through every random thought, worry, and to-do list imaginable, you get it. It's that feeling of being totally wired when all you want in the world is to just power down. And that really gets to the heart of it. For so many people with ADHD, this isn't just, an occasional bad night. It's this ongoing pattern, a nightly battle between a body that's desperate for rest and a brain that just refuses to get the memo. So why? Why does this keep happening? Well, it turns out that ADHD and poor sleep are locked in what experts call a vicious cycle. They basically feed off each other, creating this super frustrating loop that can feel impossible to break. Let's kind of break that down. Okay, so first, you've got the ADHD symptoms themselves. Things like hyperactivity or that feeling that your thoughts are just racing and you can't shut them off. That's called cognitive hyperarousal, and it makes winding down feel, well, almost impossible. Your brain is just too revved up to switch into sleep mode. And then, of course, comes the next morning. When you don't get that quality restorative sleep, it just pours gasoline on the next day's ADHD symptoms. You're more distractible, more impulsive, and it's so much harder to manage your emotions. And guess what? That just sets you up for another tough night. You see the cycle? It just keeps going.
All right, so what's the actual science behind this? Why is this cycle so powerful, especially for the ADHD brain? Well, research points to a few really key reasons.
So let's break this down into 3 big buckets. First up is the night owl body clock. For a lot of folks with ADHD, their internal clock is just naturally set a few hours later. It's not a choice, it's just biology. Then you've got that always-on brain we talked about, the cognitive hyperarousal. It's like a browser with 100 tabs open that you just can't close. And finally, other things can play a part too, like the timing of stimulant medication or even things like low vitamin D levels. But here is the really, really good news. This cycle is 100% breakable. It's not about finding one magic bullet, but more about building your own personal toolkit of strategies that work for your brain. So let's switch gears and talk solutions. Let's start with 2 common supplements, because they actually do 2 totally different things. You've got melatonin, which is basically the time for bed signal. It's the hormone that tells your brain, hey, it's nighttime, start shutting things down. But for that restless, anxious feeling, magnesium can be a total game changer. It's more of a calm the system helper. It helps relax your nervous system so you can actually feel ready for sleep. Now, moving beyond supplements, there's a really powerful long-term strategy called CBTI. That stands for Cognitive Behavioral Therapy for Insomnia. It's a type of therapy designed specifically to tackle the root of the problem. It actually teaches you how to manage those racing thoughts and change the habits that keep you awake. And the research shows it's incredibly effective for ADHD brains. Okay, therapy is great, supplements can help, but what can you do like tonight? Let's get really practical and focus on the small changes that can make a surprisingly huge difference right away. Seriously, if you only do one thing from this whole explainer, make it this. Sleep experts all agree the single most powerful way to fix your sleep schedule is a consistent wake-up time. And yes, that means on weekends too. I know, but doing this sends the strongest possible signal to your brain to regulate your entire internal clock. All right, next up, you need to build an off-ramp for your brain. ADHD brains don't just switch off. You have to guide them there. So set a timer for 30 minutes before you want to be asleep. When it goes off, dim the lights. This is a huge signal to your brain. And please put the screens away. That blue light is a total sleep killer. Then do something that's actually calming for you. Read a real book, journal, listen to some chill music. A predictable routine is your best friend here. And here are just a few more quick pro tips to help all this stick. Try to get some bright sunlight as soon as you can in the morning. It really helps lock in that body clock. And hey, don't be afraid to use technology to your advantage. Set alarms and reminders to start your wind-down routine. And of course, always talk with your doctor about stuff like supplements or adjusting your medication. Look, The most important thing to remember is that this is all about progress, not perfection. It's about finding those small, consistent changes that you can actually stick with. You're trying to break a cycle that's been going for a long time, and every single small step forward is a huge win.